No, no. You know, the names of Allah, by the way, those are fabrication. There's nothing is called the names of Allah. You see, those Muslims, they have nothing but fabrication. All their religion is fabrication. Like when the Muslims, they say to you, our God have names, have 99 names. And then you ask them questions about these names, you will find that those names are not exist. Because a name should be given to God, should be a name, not a description. But yet they call them nothing but fabrication. However, when I made a video about Jesus, proving Jesus from the names of what Muslims they call names, because Muslims they say to you, where Jesus said I'm God. So if I show them from the Bible tons of verses, they will say it doesn't say that. Where do you get this from? You know, it doesn't mean that, and maybe it means something else, and etc. You know, like if you go to John chapter 20 verse 28, and you say Thomas, he answered the Messiah, and he said to him, my Lord, my God. The Muslim will say to you, well, you are the one who put the verse there. Then you say, okay, you know what? When the Bible says in John 10, Jesus he said, I am in the I and the Father are one. He will say to you, well, you are the one who wrote the gospel. So it doesn't matter what you show them. They will say to you, it's your gospel. We don't believe in it. So I need that video because Muslims then they cannot say they don't believe in the Quran. Right? So when Jesus he said, I am the resurrection, is he announcing himself to be God? Yes, he is. He's saying I'm God. Because a man, he cannot be the resurrection, and he cannot resurrect anyone. A man is a dead man. We are alive today, we are dead tomorrow. How Jesus can be the resurrection? Unless he is the resurrection. How Jesus can be the way and the door? How he can be the life? So when the Muslims they claim, they say Jesus did not say I'm God, they are being stupid. Actually, we always can prove that Jesus is God from the resurrection. However, next Sunday we will have we will have a debate. It's a spanking debate, not a debate really. And we will have fun. And we will have the first hour speaking about this topic, and we will have a lot of fun. Alfano. How are you, Alfano? What do you want to say? No mind.
All right, so a couple of things, okay? First thing I want to say is I really think Persians are cool. So you're a cool guy in my book. Second thing I want to say is this. No, seriously. The second thing I wanted to say was that I wait, I just got invited somewhere. I'm not going. The thing that I wanted to say was I'm forgetting. Just give me 1 second, okay? I wanted to say that, well, basically, you talked about there being labels, right? These are descriptions and labels and stuff. But if you were to say that God is the Father, the Son, and the Spirit, these are also labels. The second thing I wanted to say was this. This is my most amazing argument in favor.
Alfano, I don't understand a word of what you are saying. Your voice is in. Fix it. Anyone understand what he's saying? Or it's cutting only for me? Is it cutting for me only?
And the Spirit. These are also labels. The second thing I wanted to say was this. This is my most amazing argument in favor.
Alfano, I don't understand a word of what you are saying. Your voice is in.
All right, cool. So the second argument, okay, and this was my most amazing argument for Islam, okay? My second argument.
I did not hear your first argument.
Also labels.
What was your first argument? Your mind?
Okay, so my first argument was a counter argument, okay? And my counter argument was, you said that these were descriptions in Islam. You said they were descriptions of God, right? So the thing is, they were not names. But then if you call God the Father, the Son, and the Spirit, right? These are also labels. They're descriptions. They're not names. So there's an inconsistency there. So that's the argument.
That's very stupid of you, Alfano. Let me tell you why. Because when our God was asked by Moses, who are you? What I will tell my people. What God he said, guys? What God he said? What God told Moses? I am. We don't have a name for our God. There's no name. So you are foolish and you think you are smart. We never have a name. All those you hear like Elohim and those are not names. There's no name for God. Because there's no name can describe him, and no name can contain him, and no name can frame him. So how I can give him a name? So a foolish person like you, he think that there is a name for God. There is no name. When God, he said, I am, never have a name. He was saying clearly that I don't have a name. However, you can describe me by whatever you want. I am the Almighty. I am the All-Powerful. I am the All-Holy. I am the All exists by himself. I am the Alpha. I am the Omega. But doesn't mean those are names. So we don't believe in names, and that's showing us that you do not know even what Christianity is about. But yet you are speaking that as if you know. Your mic.
Actually, while we're on that topic, can you tell me what the central truth of Christianity is? Mike's free.
Your question is very naive. What is the center of a Christianity is? Jesus said, I am the truth, and the truth will set you free. That is the center of Christianity, is the truth. And the truth is that God is almighty, he is all holy, and he is the only truth around us, and everything around us will go. That's why Jesus said, the earth and the heaven will pass, but my words will not. So what you call today truth is going to be nothing tomorrow. What is going to stay, and the only truth is exist, is God. For he is eternal, he exists by himself, and everything is created by him and for him. So, you know, human beings are very weird, and sometimes they are very stupid. You heard of something, guys, it's called mirage, right? You know what mirage is. If you drive in the highway, in a highway, like especially if you live in Phoenix or Arizona or whatever, like a mile away from you, you will see water. And you see it. You see it with your own eyes. But there's no water there. So you keep driving, and you pass the 1 mile, which so from far away, you see the water, but there's no water. But you see it with your own eyes. So what people think is truth, because they see, that's because they are limited. We are limited with our vision. And what we see, we think is truth. It might be nothing. You know, if I come to somebody 400 years ago and I say to him, right now there's a lot of voices on the air. He will say, what? A lot of voices. A lot of what? Oh, this guy is crazy. Oh, here we go. This guy here, voices. There's voices? Well, if I say to you right now, that right now in the same second I'm talking to you, there's millions of people talking and I can hear them if I have just a phone. And that phone is just hooked up to satellite and provide me with the technology. I can hear millions and millions of people, but we can hear nothing. We can hear nothing. So yes, these voices are existed and hear them, but because we don't have the technology, we cannot hear them. But are they there? Yes, it is there. So what a human being does, human being always, he like to see and he like to touch. Like they say to you, seeing is believing, right? So because of that, There's many things you should not believe in it today because we cannot see it. How somebody who live in China, he talked to me and I live here in America. That's impossible. That's stupid actually to believe in, but it's true. Like right now, every one of us is coming from different country. And all of you, you hear me, maybe even before you hear somebody speak next to you. This is how fast it is. It's crazy. But sometimes what it is crazy, it is the truth. When somebody, he refused to believe in Jesus, to be God. Why? Because he said to you, it's crazy. Well, isn't it crazy that the one you reject him, he can do miracles nobody can do? Isn't it crazy that the person, even the stupid Muslims, they say to you, Jesus is not God, but they believe that Jesus is alive for 2,000 years. They say to you, just a man. But this man, he never died. Right? Floros, I'm afraid of reading. You invite you to true deen of Allah, come over to light of Islam. Well, I don't know, you see, I want to come to the light of Islam. Let us say I'm the blind man. And Allah had the light. But you remember the story of Muhammad when a blind man, he come to him? And the verse in the Quran says, عَبَسَ وَتَوَلَّى إِنْ جَاءَهُ الْأَعْمَى. The prophet, he gave him a face when the blind man come to him. So how you can invite me to a religion, the prophet, the best example, he kicked the ass of a blind man from his house. Are you there, Floros? Your best man, he kicked the ass of a blind man. How do you explain that? Why? Because he's busy with some ritual. Is that the light you're inviting me for? Do you want me, when a blind man come to my door, kick him out of my house? Then I am busy with rich people? Is that what you want me to do? And that's called the light of Islam? Because this ass was possessed with the devil? The ass of who, Muhammad? What? Why a prophet of God, he kick a blind man from his house? Guys, when Jesus, a blind man, he asked him, and he talked to him, did Jesus say to him, I'm busy? I'm talking to rich people? How come Jesus, and he is, you know, we believe he's God, right? He was so humble, and he spoke to the blind man, and he gave him eyes. You're a prophet, not only he did not give him eyes, he did not do any miracle for him, he kicked him away from his house because he's busy. And he is, what is the excuse? He is busy with rich people of Quraysh. Is that the light of Islam you want to teach me? Or maybe you want to teach me how to go to the house of my own son, and then I have like a relationship with the wife of my son. Is that what you want to do? This is the light of Islam? Are you there? What happened? This guy is dead? The possessed, let us talk about possessed. Isn't it your prophet? He thinks that he's having sex with his wife, but in fact he's having sex with the pillow? Or maybe the goat? And you Muslims believe he was possessed? If being possessed is bad, how you follow a prophet he was possessed himself? Huh? Flores, are you there? Answer. If you are against someone who is possessed with shaitan, aren't you Muslim believe that your prophet was under the control of a black magic, which means he is possessed by the devil? Are you there? Well, this is stupid of you, because even you Muslims believe that Jesus is alive. So if worshiping the dead man, that must be Muhammad. We Christian and the Muslim don't believe that Jesus is dead. So you are being stupid again. Too much camel urine, my friend. Too much camel urine. But no, so what we believe, you know, you see how this is how stupid the Muslims. If Jesus died, that is the flesh. And the flesh of Jesus had nothing to do with the existence of the Christ. Christ, he said, before Abraham I am. So his existence had nothing to do with the flesh. Correct? As stupid Abdul, he will say to you, if you believe in the Trinity, then before the birth of Jesus, where was the Trinity? Because they are ignorant. Jesus is the Word of God. And the flesh is just a flesh. That has nothing to do with his existence. Before Abraham I am. How he can be exist before Abraham? The Jews, they said to him, how you say you are before Abraham and you are not even 50 years old? He said, even Abraham, he witnessed my day. Any Abdul? How are you, Ibn Salih? Ibn Salih can explain to us, when Muhammad, a blind man, come to him, why Muhammad, he did give him a face and he kicked him away from his house. Do you know Ibn Salih? You might.
Would you like me to guess, or would you like me to, what do you want me to do, guess? Should I guess why Jesus was sent also while I'm busy? Shall we guess why somebody died for you? You ask the most stupid questions. Why did you ask Muhammad? It's like, why did God? Why didn't you ask God? I mean, with all respect, you know what? I don't mean to sound harsh. I am saying that please think. Please try to put things into context. Van Halen.
You know, Evan, I gave you the mic to give me a prayer with Muslims. All what I said to you, why Muhammad, he gave a face to a blind man and he kicked him away from his house. And now you took the mic and you start giving me speeches. You have no answer, so why you took the mic to answer then? I mean, this is the super intelligence of Muslims. He has no answer. So you want to take the mic and you give me a speech, and then I give you a dot, and then you say to me, I have no answer. Why a person, he is the best example for his followers, he do such a thing? And look Muhammad, how evil he is. After the news spread about what he did with the blind man, Muhammad, he got exposed, he got busted. Especially he was doing that because he was busy with a rich man. So Muhammad, he made a verse as if it's coming from his God, Allah, saying to him, why you did that, Muhammad? Like, you see, guys, this God is amazing. He's saying to Muhammad, Muhammad, you are being an idiot. Why you are doing that? So look how evil Muhammad is. To make himself, this is not really me, guys. I made a mistake, and Allah, he taught me not to do that again, okay? And he solved the problem. Because the blind man exposed him. So what if you are busy with rich men, and why you are, you know, even Muhammad, let us ask Ibn Salih another question. Let us see if you have a question. Ibn Salih, are you there? Give me one if you are listening. All right. Is it true that your prophet, he said, if you have questions for me, if you want to talk to me, ask me questions, you have to pay? Is that correct? I'm asking, I'm waiting for the answer. Yes or no? No? Yeah, he never, you know, have you ever guys see a Muslim, he come to my room and I say something to him, he said, I heard of that before? I never heard of this before. Where you get this from? I never heard. All of you never heard. I never heard of a Muslim he heard of anything. And when you ask them, why your prophet he did such a thing, he will say, I never heard. And by the way, he will come to you a week after, and you will ask him the same question, and he will say to you, I never heard. Is it your wish to make these people Muslims? Well, if this is my wish, why you Muslims are upset from me if I'm making people Muslims? Huh? Why Muslims are so upset if I am making people Muslims? Be happy. I am making people Muslims. You just related the story of the blind man. Well, name for me one story is good story about your prophet. Do you have one? He went to his son. He had sex with his wife. He forced his son to divorce his wife. Do you have a good story? As I know, that there is no good story about Muhammad. Which one is a good story? Is it a good story? It says in the Quran that any Muslim woman, she can give herself to the Prophet so he can F her. Is that a good story? I never heard of a Prophet he came with such a thing. What kind of a Prophet? He will be given a license only for him from God. And all the license he have, 99% of them, is about money and women, specifically women. Do you have any explanation? Like what David? What David? David, he married many women, but show me where God, he taught him do that. Did God give him a license? That's false. Did David receive, guys, from God a verse saying to him, go David, and marry as you want, and let any woman give herself to you? No, David was acting as a king. And David, he was sinner, and he asked God for forgiveness. He cried out for God, asking for forgiveness. Read the Bible, my friend. Your God, he gave Muhammad verses for the sake of his penis. There's a huge difference between someone he commits sin and he asks God for forgiveness, and someone he makes sin as lifestyle and he claimed that his God told him to do sin, and it is lawful. Well, it doesn't matter if he's a prophet. You see, being a prophet will not make you a good guy anyway. But when you claim to be a prophet, you teach sin. That's false prophet. David, he did commit sin, but he did not teach sin. There's a huge difference between someone claiming that God taught him to teach you to commit sin, and he do sin. When he do sin, he cry for his sin and he asks God for forgiveness and he confess for his sin. He is not proud about it. Your prophet, he is saying, God gave me this license. Is it your prophet who gave women the right and men the right to open their legs for mut'ah? Is that sin or not? Is that sin or not? What Muhammad, he cried 60 times? Hold on. Why he wanna cry? Why he wanna cry? Isn't it your prophet, he said in the Quran that Allah, he forgive his past sin and his coming sin? Is that correct or I'm lying? What do you think? Did Allah give him a license for the past sin and the coming sin? So what are you talking about? You're lying. Well, I'm asking you, what do you mean crying? You're lying. Muhammad in chapter 48, verse number 2, he said that Allah says to him, may Allah forgive thee for the past and the coming sin. What kind of God? For he has license for sin, why he will cry for it? Is forgiven. Forgive your past and your coming sin. What do you mean he cried for the sin? That would be stupid. Open license for sin. That is Muhammad. And the funny guy is the Muslims, they say that the Christians believe in license for sin. They lie about us, says that Christians, they believe that Jesus died for our sin, and that means Christians, they can do as much sin as they want, which is absolutely false. When we say Christ, he died for our sin, that means that he came because of our sin. If we are the good ones, we do not need to be saved. This is what we mean he died for our sin. Doesn't mean that he gave us a license for sin. This is absolute false lie the Muslims they spread around. And the one who gave license for sin is Allah. Christ, he said, not everyone says to me, Lord, Lord, God, God, he will enter the kingdom of my Father, but the one who do his will. Not the one who do the sin. But your Prophet Muhammad, he gave you tons of thousands for reasons to go to heaven. As an example, if you recite the name of Allah 33 times, all your sin is forgiven. If you fast the day of Ashura, the year before and the year after is forgiven. If you pray in the night of Al-Qadr, as if you pray to Allah for 83 years. And not only that, Allah in the judgment day will take the sin of all the Muslims and will place it on the Christians. Open license for sin. You sin, we pay, according to Muhammad. And the funny, by the way, the Muslims, they say to you that is it just that Jesus take the sin of mankind? Shouldn't the one who do the sin pay for his sin? So why Muhammad, he says Allah will take the sin of all the Muslims and place it on the Christians, and he will say to them, this is your ransom. Any Muslim have an answer? How the Muslims, their ransom is sacrificing us? Any Abdul have the courage and the knowledge? That's false dialogues. That's what Muslims believe. You Muslims have an open license for sin. Who want to make a challenge? Put your hand up, dialogues. Let us hear you. We did not spank you for a long time. Don't you miss it? Seriously, don't you miss it? Put your hand up. Come on, put your hand up. Don't talk about sin and make a challenge. Put your hand up there. Muhammad is a Muslim. I told you many times first, if you want to come to our room, you have to change your name. Because with this name, you are insulting the Messiah. You are a filthy, disgusting person. To be a Muslim, my friend, to be a child molester. Guess Jesus was a child molester? Was he? Because the best Muslim is who? Is Muhammad. Muhammad is the best Muslim. What he did, he had sex with 6-year-old girl. So to be a great Muslim, you have to be a child molester. This is number one. To be a great Muslim, you have to steal underwear. Did Jesus was accused by anyone of stealing underwear? No. Muhammad was. Did Jesus flirt with anyone's son or family or relative or a friend? The wife of them? No. Muhammad did. Did Jesus sleep with the dead women as an excuse to sleep with her because she is beautiful? Muhammad did. Did Jesus lick the faces of the children as an excuse and suck their tongues? No, he did not. Muhammad did. Did Jesus teach the man to beat his wife? No, he never did. Never do that. Muhammad did. Did Muhammad order women to give their breast to suck it from foreigners? Yes, he did. Jesus did not. So how Jesus can be a Muslim? Huh? How Jesus can be a Muslim? Any Muslim can answer me? What kind of a prophet he ordered the Muslim women to suck, to let their wives suckle and suck their breast? Your prophet ordered, obviously he's a madman. He's a madman. This is not a behavior. This is beyond the stupidity of a madman. Imagine, guys, a man, and she is complaining that there's a be honest with me. I don't mean to insult. Have you ever seen your father?
For people, you keep proving that the Quran is universal, that the teaching of the Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is all of mankind, not just Indians. You keep proving that to me. Every time I come in here, when you speak to me, it doesn't apply to any other race. It only in 25% of the world, Christianity is applicable. In the rest of the world, it's not compatible. But when we talk about Islam, you tell me how Islam is compatible. And the breastfeeding thing is a Xhosa thing. It's a Zulu thing. It's a Tswana.
Hold on. Let me show you how stupid what you say. How someone who lives in America can pray to the direction of Kaaba in Mecca? You might. Let us see if Islam compatible or not. You might. I live in USA. I want to face Mecca. How I can do that? You might.
So you've never heard of GPS? You've never heard of GPS coordinates? Can somebody please give CP a link to GPS coordinates? CP, there's a technology called...
I don't know who is the donkey here, but listen to me carefully, Abdul. I did not say I'm going to fly to Mecca. I said how I can face Mecca. GPS will not make me face Mecca, my friend, because the earth is not a flat. But because you're a stupid God, he thought the earth is a flat, he told you, you can face Mecca from anywhere. You're mine.
CP, if you stand in the general direction, there are maps, right? And you know where north is. You have a compass in your...
You see how stupid what I was saying, and everybody is laughing at you. First of all, what happened to those Muslims who pray into the Kaaba, in the direction of the Kaaba in the last 1400 years when there's no GPS? Now we have GPS, but that will not solve the problem, because still we cannot face the Kaaba. What map? Are you stupid? Are you going to pray on the map? The map is a flat. It works in the map, but this is not real. This is false. So how you can face the Kaaba when you live in Norway, or if you live in Australia, or if you live in USA or in Canada, or even in India? Because a few miles away from the Kaaba, you cannot even face the Kaaba no more. For a very simple reason, the earth is not a flat. How you can do that, you might?
Are you telling me that the aeroplanes don't fly to different parts of the world?
No, I heard of flies, but they are not airplanes in the time of your prophet and even before, like the flying carpet of Suleiman. The Quran speak about it. But what does have to do with my topic, Abdul? stop drinking camel urine at least for 5 seconds. How I can face the Kaaba? I'm not going to fly to the Kaaba. I'm not asking you how to go to the Kaaba. If you are a Muslim and you are praying in the direction of the Kaaba, huh? How you can face the Kaaba? I will tell you. I will give you an idea. The only way to do it is to put your head in the toilet seat, and maybe you will be facing the Kaaba because it's in the other side of the earth. Maybe. However, I guarantee you that your face will be full of shit if you do that. You might.
It's obvious that you don't understand anything about geography. My 1,407 years. We haven't been doing it for 1, 2 years, 3 years. I think by now we would have been able to get it. Don't you think? With knowledge, with all the air travel, with geography, you don't think we would get it right now? I don't know if you don't realize that Christianity would have probably been extinct if you look into history. So you must actually thank the Muslims for mathematics, for the science, for astronomy.
What mathematics? What mathematics? First of all, if you want to talk about mathematics, let us look at the Quran. Let us see how stupid the donkey who made the Quran. How the Quran says that if a family die, the male will inherit twice as the female. Huh? The male will inherit twice as the female. So let me give you a question. If we have 3 daughters, oh sorry, let us say we have 2 daughters, and we have 1 boy, and we have 4 wives, and the guy he died and he owned $1,000. I challenge you to divide the money. Let us see how stupid the mathematics of the Quran. The mic is yours.
So nobody was ever told to face anyway. So how did the Son of Man face Jerusalem?
The Jerusalem there is not even Jerusalem, Abdul. Jerusalem, God, He promised us a new Jerusalem, which is not going to be in this earth. And this is how stupid you are. A donkey like your prophet. The Jerusalem we will have is not in this earth. It will be Jerusalem of peace. And this is the name of Jerusalem, the city of peace. So we will have, you see, the Muslims are stupid. They think that even Jerusalem is a name of a city. It is not just a name. It is a sentence. And that sentence means peace. So when we are going to be with God, we will be living, all of us, in the city of peace, which is going to be heaven. And you, everything is in you. We will have a new flesh, but the flesh is different from this. We will be the same as angels. So don't try to quote for me from my Bible. You do not know what you are reading. Now listen, as long as you are talking about mathematics, why you don't want to answer? I have a boy, I have 3 girls, or 2 daughters, let us make it 2 daughters, 1 boy and 4 wives, and 1 husband. The husband, he died, he owned $1,000. I challenge you to divide the money based on the Quran. How you can do that? It's impossible. So you don't have the courage to admit that your prophet is a stupid prophet and he is very bad in mathematics. Right? Are you going to answer or not? Your mind.
You want me to teach you geography? You want me to okay, I'll teach.
You see, I don't know how stupid you are. I did not ask you. But he cannot come with any rule which can work with mathematics. You are the one who mentioned the word mathematics. Aren't you the one who says you should be for the Muslims? And by the way, the Muslims, they say Jabir ibn Hayyan is a Muslim. He has nothing to do with the Muslims. But as always, the Muslims, anyone, he become famous, they make him Muslim. Guys, the founder of Apple, what's his name? Job? What's his name? Job. Just wait, 100 years from now, the Muslim, they will write in their books that he was a Muslim. But the guy had nothing to do with Islam. They will say to you, his father was a Syrian guy, but his father dumped him in the trash can, and a Christian family adopted him, and he grew in a Christian house. But they will make him a Muslim, just wait. And the guy died, and he is not a Muslim. Let me give you an example about Ibn Khaldun. There's a famous philosopher, his name is Ibn Khaldun. Every Muslim, he will quote for you Ibn Khaldun. Ibn Khaldun, Ibn Khaldun, Ibn Khaldun. Do you know what Ibn Khaldun he said? He said the Arab are savage. In order to cook a dish, they are willing to burn a library, books, all of it, and to destroy a palace to make a dish. This is what Ibn Khaldun he said about the Arab and the Muslims. And the poor guy was discriminated and humiliated during his lifetime, running from country to country. So when he was living between them, he is a devil because he's a philosopher guy. Philosophy is against Islam, it's haram. You see the hypocrisy of those Muslims? When there is someone who is smart, they kill him in his time. And then after 500 years, they notice that we should not kill him. We look bad, so we should say that he's a Muslim. So let us go back to the question, Mr. Evan. You are trying to avoid the answer. You know what? Let us talk about geography. Forget about the mathematics. Look like it's hard for you. In chapter 18, verse number 60, Musa, he went and he arrived section of the two seas. Do you know where are they? Do you know where we can find them, those two seas? Mike?
Huh? Yeah, in Cape Town, South Africa, you find two seas. Don't you find the two seas here, the Indian Ocean meeting the Atlantic Ocean? Don't you find that? 40 years is a long time.
So Musa, he went to Cape Town? Musa, he went there, you might? Because the verses speak about Musa, you might.
Well, where do you find whales? Are you going to debate like a coward? First tell me, are you going to be a coward the whole night? First say yes or no. Because you are coming across as a coward. Debate like a man. Can you do that? Don't give me instructions in habited slumber. We are...
Debate like a man. What like a man? I mean, do you mean like wearing my wife clothes like your prophet used to do? He said, I never receive Quran until I wear my wife clothes. So what about you say that you prophet, not to me? I don't wear women clothes. Now answer me. Where we can find those two seas? I'm talking to you seriously. Musa, he went to an area, the conjunction of the two seas. Where we can find that? You might.
Was Africa a wilderness? Yes or no? Did he have 40 years to do it in? In 40 years, you can travel wherever you want to, across, right down the coast of Africa, and back. Work it out.
Hey, Abdul, you see how stupid you are? The story there is not about the Jews, it's about Musa alone. Allah sent him to learn from a guy, his name is Al-Khudr. Only Musa's, not the Jews. Okay, so where we can find the two seas? Let me show you how stupid you Muslims and your geography. This is Tafsir al-Jalalain. This is what? This is Tafsir al-Jalalain. Guys, read what the Muslim intelligence make them say. Read with me. And mention Musa's, the son of Amram, or Imran. The Muslim trying to correct Muhammad. You see, they quote there Amram, the correct name. But Muhammad said Amran. Said to his boy, Ben Noon, whatever created name, who used to, let me post again, guys. so people they can see it? Read with me. I will not stop journeying until I have reached the junctions T and C and the Persian Sea meet. What? Doesn't T and C and the Persian Sea meet? Any Abdul can tell us? Any Muslim Abdul can tell us? The Persian Sea, we know where it is. The Byzantine, I want to know. Are you there, Ibn Saleh? Yes. And guys, if we read this story, actually I challenge any Muslim to stand up and read the cheapest stories ever. Is proud about this story? Take a class, train in job training if you have to be a pro from a guy. His name is Al-Khadr. Let us start with the first. Why his name is Al-Khadr, Ibn Salih? Why Al-Khadr? You mind?
That's what his parents named him.
The Christian Prince, a lot of people, this is not the way to speak to people. You do know that. You do know that if you want to have respect, you need to conduct yourself with some dignity. You do know that. Because people in your room are not exactly, they're not exactly intelligent people. I don't mean to offend any of them, but none of them look like they have any knowledge. So it's easy to tell them nonsense. Nabi Khidr, the story of Nabi Khidr is not about where he was, what country. It's got nothing to do with it. The lesson is that you do not understand. Does the Bible not say God works in mysterious ways? That is the lesson there. Does the Bible not say that? Yeah.
What mysterious? What were you? I'm asking you a question. You tell me God here mysterious way. What mysterious way? Why God sending Moses to the conjunction of the two seas to meet a guy? His name is Al-Khadr. And there they found there's a fountain of life. Is that a true story or a fiction? Your mind. Go ahead.
Christian Prince. You're asking me if it's a true, is the story of a good Samaritan a true story, yes or no? Is the story of Samson and Delilah a true story? A man killing 1,000 men with the jawbone of an ass, tying the tails of foxes.
Well, you don't want to believe in it. Prove that it's false. How he killed them? How he killed them? Do you know? Did he kill them by one slam? No. He destroyed the temple at the top of their head. How he killed them? Your mind. He's talking about what? He's talking about Samson, right? Yeah, read how he killed them. He did not, you know, there's nothing there. You know, when a Muslim he come with a question, he's not even honest. Read the story. I'm giving you a story about your Quran, showing how stupid your God is. And then you can give me a story. If you can show me that my God is stupid, good for you. I change you. Now answer. Musa got to learn from him. And why Al-Khadr he was called? Because wherever he sit in his ass, he made the grass. Why? Because he drank in this garbage. You might.
Look, there's a lot of things that are unbelievable, but people believe them. So this is the nature of belief in the first place, right? There's
That's not the question. I agree with you, but that's not the question. There is something is called fiction and stupidity, and there is something is unbelievable. Like as an example, God he raised Jesus, he raised a man from death. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Jesus is the son of a virgin. That's unbelievable. But there's a huge difference between someone speaking about a flying carpet and someone he drank from the fountain of life, and then whatever he touched became a green, and he never died. That's obviously is a fairy tale story. There's a huge difference between a miracle of God and a fountain of life. Do you believe that there's a fountain of life? You drink from it and you live forever? Mr. Alfono, your mic.
I think it's subjective what you're willing to believe and not believe. I think basically one of the most extraordinary claims that a person.
No, not subjective. Because if you are a believer, you believe in the miracles of God, not in the power of water and magic. Correct, guys? If you are a believer, then you believe that God, he has a power, he's the Almighty. But to believe that there's something that's called the fountain of life, which is spread by many legends before Islam, and like as a story, the story of Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh had the same story. He is looking for the fountain of youth, so he can live forever. So Muhammad is copying the stories of old nations before him, and he make it as a real story, but all of us, we know they are fictions. So there's a huge difference between a believing God power and believing a fountain, you drink from it and you became youth. That is called Alice in the Wonderland, not God. Right? Your mind.
I think though that you only believe that this is the case because you believe in a particular set of myths. There's nothing that privileges a particular deity over all the other ones. You have to acknowledge the fact.
Next, what privilege of deity? There's no deity. We believe there's only one deity, and that's it. You are being stupid now. And this is not about topic. And this is not about privilege. This is about stupid and smart. I believe that God can create everything, and God can raise people from death, and God can create anything he wants. But to say to me there's a fountain of life, you drink from it, you stay youth, that is even against God. Because now we have a fountain, have the power of God. So we should worship the fountain now. This fountain can do what God cannot do. You die with this God. This fountain will keep you alive forever. You do not need to pray. Guys, listen to this. Based on the story of the fountain, I do not need to pray to God. I do not need to worship God. All what I need to drink a cup of this water and I will live forever. What do you think? Which one is better? The fountain is better. Don't worry about your sin. Don't worry about praying. Don't worry about Hajj. Drink from the fountain, my friend. You live forever. That's it. Nobody even can kill you. Because you will live forever. You see the stupidity of this religion? If this fountain is true, so what the need of this God? How are you, Dialogues? Do you believe in the fountain of life, Dialogues? Do you believe that the fountain of youth? You drink from it and you live forever? Go ahead.
Hello, 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 hello. So finally you undotted me, and I had to raise my hand to do that. So you had raised a number of issues. What fountain of life are you talking about? I wasn't exactly paying attention. Just asked some questions about that, and I could ask you some questions from the Bible as well. Actually, I could quote some verses of the Quran, then you can explain them to me. Are you happy to do that? Since you seem to or claim to know a lot about the Quran, and I think that will answer your queries. So if you can tell me what is the meaning of this verse of the Quran, then we can take it from there. This is not the only verse I have in mind. I can post it in Arabic, but since a lot of people in here are not.
The Arabic is not showing. Read the verse for me. It doesn't show. Anyone see the Arabic font, guys? Anyone see Arabic? I don't see any Arabic. You're mine. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I will read the Arabic. إذ قال يوسف لأبيه يا أبت إني رأيت أحد عشر كوكبا والشمس والقمر رأيتهم لي ساجدين. Remember the time, or when Joseph said to his father, "Oh my father, I saw 11 stars and the sun and the moon. I saw them making obeisance to me," right? So he doesn't mention that this is not literal. He just states, I saw 11 stars and the sun and the moon. I saw them prostrating to me. Now tell me, does this have a literal explanation or does it have an interpretation? Your mic.
First of all, you Muslims are very weird. You say that Moses is a prophet of God, and you say that he worshipped only Allah, but yet Moses is saying that the whole universe is bowing down to him. So even if this is metaphorical, this is against Islam supposedly. Because why they are bowing down to Moses? Do you know? You would say this is metaphorical. Metaphorical for what? You might. Sorry, not for Musa, to Joseph, sorry. They are bowing for him for what reason? Who is he? He is God? Why they are bowing down for him? You might. I'm speaking about Islam right now. I'm not talking about the Bible. You are the one who quote for me the verse. You want to show me that this is a metaphorical. This is metaphorical of what? You might.
Thank you very much. Actually, you helped me make my point. You produced an argument why such a verse cannot be taken literally. If it goes against the laws of God or the laws of nature to take a statement literally, then it is not taken literally. Do you get the point? You gave two arguments. I gave one and you gave another. Actually, I didn't even state my argument. My argument was that sun and moon, stars and sun and moon do not bow, do not prostrate to people. It doesn't happen in real life. So when it becomes absurd to take something literally, then it is given an interpretation. Now the verse you brought is given an interpretation. That is how the Quran is interpreted. Otherwise, I can show you verses on the basis of which one can claim that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Allah. You cannot argue against those interpretations on the basis of your claim and the basis of which you claim Jesus is God. Those verses can be interpreted, can be understood if taken literally to mean that Allah and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam are one and the same. But people give it an interpretation normally. So I can show you the verses, and I can show you that there are verses in the Quran which can be used to make a stronger claim for the divinity of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam than Christians use to make a claim for the divinity of Jesus, on whom be peace. And then you will tell me, I can present the verses, then I will prove to you that your criticism is invalid. Mic free.
You see, you are the one who mentioned the verse, but you failed to give me the answer. Correct, guys? I said to you, if this is metaphorical, this is metaphorical of what? Because at the end of the day, they are bowing down to him. Sajideen. So that cannot be explained unless Joseph is being God. Now, do you have explanation? You give me a speech. Secondly, you said, well, obviously, the sun does not prostrate to anyone. That's false. Because according to your prophet, the sun prostrates every day. when your prophet in the sunset, he asked Abu Dharr, he said to him, hey Abu Dharr, do you know where the sun goes? Do you know where the sun goes? Abu Dharr, he said, well, the prophet and Allah, he knows better. He said, it goes every day and protests under the throne of Allah. So yes, it does prostrate literally according to Islam. And that again proved that Muhammad is a false prophet, because if Muhammad is not a false prophet, he will not say such a statement, which is not only scientifically wrong, it is very naive. And he's trying to claim that he is the one who knows voluntarily, like you now. You came to my room, and you are the one who picked up the verse, and you are the one who asked the question, and supposedly you are going to put me in the corner, but now you have no idea how to answer this. How Muhammad, he says, that the sun go and eat itself under the throne of Allah, if you just knew that this was the sun and the moon don't prostrate? Do you have an answer? You're mine.
Thank you very much. So basically, you are going to a hadith when we were talking about the Quran. And the point you helped me make is that if that verse is taken literally, there are questions that would arise, because it would go against the laws of God and the laws of nature, which is actually the work of God. Okay, so yes, the sun does not bow towards people. It doesn't happen. Okay, so if someone says the sun is bowing towards me, or the sun is prostrating, that is not a literal prostration. Okay, so you are understanding the Quran incorrectly. Your criticism is invalid about the Quran as well as about the hadith. The Quran, the sun does not prostrate physically like humans prostrate. Okay, so it cannot be given a literal explanation. Now, the allegation of absurdity in the Quran is because you want to take it literally when it is not supposed to be taken literally. That's the point I'm making, which you have helped me again establish. Thank you very much, Christian Prince. Mic free.
Well, obviously you're playing games, because your prophet is the one who said Abu Dharr while the sun set. Guys, does it say that? Read with me. Once I was with the prophet in the mosque. At the time of the sunset, what? At the time of the sunset, the prophet said, "O Abu Dharr, do you know where the sun set?" So this is literally, do you know where the sun set? So why you are making it metaphorical? So in order to cover the shame of your prophet saying such a statement, you are saying this metaphorical, but the fact is not, because he's talking about where the sun goes. Actually, the translation is wrong. You speak Arabic, right? You claim to speak Arabic, right? Ya Abu Dharr, أين تغرب الشمس? Do you know where the sun set? قلت الله ورسوله أعلم. I said, Allah and His Messenger knows best. قال, which means the Prophet, فإنها تذهب حتى تسجد تحت العرش. And then he added the verse where والشمس تجري إلى مستقر لها. And the sun run to a fixed course. Muhammad is explaining what the fixed course is. The fixed course, the sun every day run from point A to point B. And what is the point A? Is the east. And what is point B? Is the west. And where is the west? Is under the throne of Allah. So when you say to me this is a metaphorical, that's false. And let me give you another hadith, which will give us more clear explanation. Here we go. This is the same story with more details. And if you want me to post for you the link, let me know, please. This is a Sahih hadith from Sahih al-Bukhari. Ask, where did the sun go? The question about what? The sun is going somewhere. So your prophet, he think that the sun is moving and the sun is going, but the fact is not true. The earth is going around itself and the sun is there. And then he continues, he said, it goes, i.e. trouble. Guys, did it say that, or I'm making things up? I'm just reading exactly, copy paste as it is. And take the permission to prostrate under the throne of Allah, from point A to point from the east. So how you explain that?
Okay, thank you, Christian Prince. Like I said, there are verses of the like talk about the prostration, the such there are prostrations of different things physically prostrate. If you take the Quran or the Hadith literally, where it is not meant to be literal, of course you are going to come up with questions. I can bring you verses from the Bible. If they are taken literally, they become absurd. Now, when Ibn Saleh mentioned about Jerusalem set in the face towards Jerusalem, you suggested it was a metaphorical Jerusalem. But the verse is a literal Jerusalem, the land of Israel. So you are running away towards metaphors when the context.
No, my friend, I did not run away. Read the whole chapter and you will see that it says that clearly. Read it. Did you read it? Did you read the whole chapter, or you are copy-paste verse? Read it. Read it. You, Mike, and show me where it is not metaphorical. It's not there. Jerusalem is not even a name of a city he is mentioning, because the Bible says clearly that we will not be in Jerusalem. We will not live in Jerusalem. The earth, all of it will demolish. The earth will be void. Is that correct, Christians? We as a Christian, we will not live in this earth. So what Jerusalem we are talking about? This is different Jerusalem. This is the land of city, the land of peace. So don't teach me about my book, my friend. We Christian, we don't believe they are going to live in Jerusalem. So if you want to understand the Bible, you don't take a verse and you say it's facing the first in Jerusalem. And however, I can face Jerusalem still. I can be in the front of the gates of Jerusalem because Jerusalem has doors. There's a huge difference between someone saying to you, you pray in the direction of Mecca when you are in India, and someone saying to you, face Jerusalem. I can face Jerusalem. I do not need to pray facing Jerusalem. That means I live in America, I have to face Jerusalem, and that's impossible. It doesn't say that. So you must try to defend the ignorance of your God, making it fit with something else, because you are in away from the question. Right? So the mic is yours. How your prophet says the sun goes. Obviously, you are trying to avoid to answer the question. Is that correct? Is that correct? Yes or no? Are you going to answer the question or you will not? Take the mic, answer the question about this, and I will answer you immediately about the verse you posed for me. Deal? The mic is yours. Let us see.
Okay, Christian Prince, you seem not to register the point. You want it to be literal. Then I will give you another verse. Tell me whether this is literal or metaphorical. This verse.
Please, my friend, don't change the topic. You see, I'm not even the one who is saying this is literal. It's your prophet is saying that. And you are telling me, I am me. Guys, is it me who said that? Is it me who goes and trouble? Sunset time. No need for the topic. They are not talking about God. They are not talking about metaphorical things. He asked him, do you know where the sun goes? The question is very simple. Do you know where the sun goes? The guy, he said, I don't know. Only God and his prophet know better. Muhammad voluntarily, he told him where the sun goes. So why you are not answering? Did your prophet claim that he is teaching the guy where the sun goes? Yes. They are not talking about a metaphorical verse in the Quran. They are talking about where the sun goes. Hey, over there. The sun is going now. Do you know where it goes? The guy, he said, I don't know. Muhammad, he says, it is goes and travel and prostrate itself every day. So this is not a metaphorical. You will be my hero if you can prove that this is metaphorical. You're mine.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I will talk about relevant verse of the Quran about the sun. And okay, according to this verse that I've posted, and the second verse that I've posted, the sun and moon have an orbit. They do not deviate from against the Quran. That is why it is not accepted. Do you register? Do you accept that the sun and moon have an orbit? Anything contradictory to that? That's my point. Okay, go ahead.
My friend, one of us, I just gave you your prophet giving interpretation me. Are you blind? Your prophet saying that it runs from this course, this is the course, this is the order, and even they are quoting for. Do you see the verse? Huh? Do you see the verse with me? Do you see it? Chapter 63, verse number 38. الشمس تجري مستقر لها. The old Quran is talking about the Quran. The Quran protects itself and asks Allah for permission. So you're a prophet getting you busted the Quran. Not only this is for water in a hot, murky water. And when Zulqarnain, he walked with his army, he arrived and he found where the sun set. Somebody, guys, post for us chapter 18, verse number 86. As you see with me here, the Quran confirmed that the sun is a hot, next to the sunset, people who live there. And who is the one telling the story? It is Allah, it is not Zulqarnain. The one is talking there. To me, this is contradict the Quran. When the Quran confirms in a place, and that your God Allah.
Okay, Christian Prince, thank you very much for introducing that verse. A point I was making is that which are clear and decisive, muhkamat, allegorical, they are susceptible to different interpretations I've given, which tell us that the sun and moon have setting in a pool of murky water literally contradicts that verse. So we cannot take it literally. It's work of God, the laws of nature that we see around us. So a Muslim is supposed to use his understanding and not interpret something which is metaphoric, whole book, because the whole book is from the same Lord who is all-knowing. So that is why I pointed to you the verse about where Joseph laid something to him. Now, Yaqub alayhi salam did not take that literally. Yusuf alayhi salam, Joseph, didn't say it was a dream. He just said, this is what I saw. Okay? Now, Jacob could have said, you silly boy, that is ridiculous. But he realized, even though Joseph did not say, he did categorically state that it's metaphorical. People who have some understanding, they do not have a perversity, they will understand it as metaphorical. It's not rocket science. It's simple, obvious. But if someone deliberately wants to find fault, yes, he will find fault. And this is the point I'm trying to make to you, that you should not interpret anything in the Quran to contradict other verses, which are clear and decisive. So the two verses that I presented can be considered to be muhkamat, clear and decisive, because the word of God says it and the work of God says it. Mic free.
Guys, let me show the hypocrisy of Muslims. I hope you will not be offended by saying that. He just told me you should not give interpretation for the verse. As if I am the one who give interpretation. I just showed you. Your prophet saying that. And this is why you're avoiding to explain what your prophet is saying. It's your prophet who says the sun will trouble every day. Guys, is that me who is talking there? No. Am I the one voluntarily giving interpretation for chapter 36, verse number 38? No. It is your prophet, not me. And you keep taking the mic, says, if this verse is contradicting the Quran, nowhere in the Quran it says that the sun does not have a course. The sun have a course, and your prophet explained the course. It goes every day, every day, every day, and prostrate under the throne of Allah and ask for permission, and then Allah allowed it to go back. And now you just said you are not allowed to give interpretation of your own. Who said I'm doing? Let me show you more. Not only your prophet, he said that he was Jalalain. This is who? Al-Jalalain. Is he Hindu? No. Al-Jalalain said, one guy, does it say that? Does it say that? Where the sun set, he found it in a muddy spring. Like, what the heck? Water, hot water. Next to it, next to what? Next to the sitting place of the sun. He found people there between the east and the west. He found the east and he found the west. He found rays and he found where the sun set. Exactly what your prophet saying in chapter 36, verse number 38. And this is what he is saying in this hadith which we posted. And yet you say to me, this is contradicting the Quran, that the orbit of the sun is the one you claim to be. Your prophet, he told us what the orbit is. That is the orbit. The sun every day go from point A to point, and some verses are not a clear of the Quran. I have interpretation for that verse you yourself, and yet it's not a clear for. Otherwise, I would doubt you. You are a Muslim, you are a Christian, doesn't matter. All right? That was the sunset time, and Muhammad, he said, I don't know. Muhammad, he explained, because he's a scientist. He worked for NASA. He said the sun goes every day itself underneath the throne of Allah. So it goes, and that is the orbit of the sun. Are you going to mean that you know better what the verse means more than your...
But let me just point out to you first that this hadith that you've quoted talk about the sun that will rise in the west. Now, some people have understood the rising of the sun in the west as something metaphoric. Why?
Will happen. That's not the same course. The course every day put straight, and the in the judge will appear from the wrong direction. Okay? Muhammad claimed that in the judgment day, that is not the course. The sun will change its course, and what the change will be is going to come from the west. So don't play games, and that is not a metaphorical. However, I will give you a chance to prove it's a metaphorical. Name for me one Islamic scholar, give interpretation saying that this is a metaphorical thing, and I will name you as a hero. I will make you an admin right now in my room. Is that fair, guys? If this guy can name me one Islamic scholar, agree with him that this is a metaphorical, you are an admin from now in my room. It's a challenge. I have all the scholars in front of me. Ibn Kathir, Al-Jalalain, Al-Qurtubi, Al-Tabari. Which one you want? Name one for me. None of them agree with you. So why you are fabricating stories to defend Islam? You're mine.
Thank you, Christian Prince. You should let me finish, because I would have answered your objection if you had let me finish. So be patient, it's a virtue. The sun is a metaphor for Muhammad. Muhammad in the Quran is the sun of the spiritual universe. Okay, so the rising of the sun from the west is interpreted as the rising of the true faith, the faith of Muhammad.
That's false. Because Muhammad, he said, in the end of the time, Islam will go and be strange. بدأ الإسلام غريبا وينتهي غريب. Which means Islam at the end of the days is going to shrink, will be so small. This is the prophecy of Prophet. And this is about the sun physically appearing from different location. And here we go, my challenge is again. Who are you to give interpretation for this? Do you have a scholar giving interpretation? Or maybe you're Ahmadiyya, who have some fiction stories. You're Ahmadiyya, right? Do you have a scholar can sponsor what you are saying, or this is the fiction of the Ahmadiyya? You might.
Christian Prince, I told you the principle from the Quran. If something goes against the word of God or the work of God, then it is interpreted.
My friend, you are repeating yourself. You did not show me anywhere in the Quran. It's against what we showed you. I showed you a hadith, your prophet saying that. Your prophet explained. I show you the scholars saying that. So you are fabricating a story. There is nowhere it is contradicting what Muhammad said. Muhammad said that the sun set in a certain place, and that is a murky water. Muhammad said the sun set every day under the throne of Allah. Muhammad says the sun goes from point A to point B. Muhammad, he says this is the course of Allah, and he quotes for you the verse in the hadith. Now, do you have something against the statement of Muhammad? Show me one statement of Muhammad saying that this is a metaphorical, and you know what? I will close my room immediately. Is that fair, guys? I just showed you what Muhammad said. Show me something Muhammad said is against this, I will close my room right now. You might. But you have nothing. You have the fiction of the Ahmadiyya. Put some feather in the top of your head and claim to be the Messiah. Your mic.
Okay, so your challenge is a business. I can do better. Give you your God. About Muhammad.
Don't change my topic. There's no change about Jesus. You're Ahmadi. When the Christian, they came to him, they said, Jesus, he raised people from death. Jesus make people walk. Jesus make people heal because of diarrhea. What kind of God he have, and who is he? Diarrhea. So dialogues don't go to Jesus, not to run away from the topic. Prophet, he said what he said. I don't want to repeat again and again. Do you have anything to refute what your prophet said to prove your point? That this is a metaphorical? Do you have one verse in the Quran says that the sun is not going from point A to point B every day? Nowhere. All the verses you said to me, even your prophet, he's quoting the same verse. As you see in the front of you. وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍ لَهَا. And I gave you the scholars' interpretation, and it fit exactly with this. You're mine.
Okay, Christian Prince, I think you're afraid to listen to me because I can answer everything. I was on the topic of metaphorical interpretations. Jesus is metaphorical. Physically, Jesus said no. John the Baptist.
About the sun, we are talking about the moon, we are talking about the sun down under the throne. Your prophet is saying something, and you are running. All the Bible is full of that. And this has nothing to do with the topic. So you are running away from it. Can you show me what he said again? Can you show? Can you speak against this? You know, Mike?
Talks about it. So why do I need to go to a human who is subject to human frailties, such as
that the sun calls as a metaphorical, you might?
There is no need. It's obvious. That's the point I'm making.
Ah, yes. Well, it's obvious that your prophet speaking about the sun goes every day. It's obvious. Correct, guys? That is the obvious. 18, verse number 86. I challenge you and tell me how this will not be something to get you busted. Does it say there that he found the sun sitting in the dirty water, hot water? Yes or no? You are changing the topic. So the moon and the sun put straight in front. What does this have to do with my topic? Did you say that this is not a dream? It is a dream. You're mine.
Thank you very much. It could well be a dream of Dhul Qarnayn that is related. It could well.
He did not see a dream, my friend. The Quran says he went, Ahmadiyya, wake up. Too much hashish. I'm talking about the story of Joseph when he said that he saw a living. Does the Quran confirm that this is a dream, or just he says such a statement? You're mine.
Relates the statement in which he doesn't mention it as a dream. In the next verse,
it is correct, guys. You see, this is. I don't know how old are you. As long as the guy is saying this is a dream, it is a dream. There's no need to discuss if it's metaphorical or not. It's a dream, my friend. Do you know what a dream means? Yesterday I saw myself. It's not. Would be you're a prophet speaking about the sun going from point A to point B, and you're a prophet talking about finding the sun sitting in a murky, dirty, hot water. That was not a dream. Do you understand? So there's no, and someone saying, wait, or Zulqarnain, he walked in and wait, he keep going, till he found where the sun set. That is not, that supposedly, and you, God, Allah is reporting the story voluntarily. To the verse number 83 in chapter 8, Allah said, and they are asking thee, Zulqarnain, hear some of his story. Life experience is Allah. Of Dhul Qarnayn. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I ask you a question, and you tell me verse of the Quran is literal. Please please, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, swear the hand of Allah is over their hand. Now, Muslim, peace be upon him, was over verses saying the hand of Allah is over them. And read the rest of the verse. Breaks it to his own loss. And whoever fulfills the covenant he has made with Allah, he will surely reward. The covenant is with Muhammad, peace be upon him. So, is it that Allah is Muhammad? Context, the preceding verses and the verses afterwards, if you like. Whether this verse is literal or metaphorical. Can be Allah himself, not God the Son, but God himself. It is a stronger verse than any Christian can produce, claiming that Jesus is God. Whether this is literal, that the hand of Allah is the hand of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Your mic.
Friend, first of all, there's am I heard, guys? You hear me? Okay. Listen, first of all, Muhammad is Allah. Allah is not Muhammad, which means Allah is a fiction. Muhammad is the true God. Muhammad, he made many verses in the Quran says, obey Allah and the Messenger. If Muhammad is not God and Allah is not fiction, why Muhammad saying you have to obey Allah and Muhammad? I thought Muhammad, he speak for Allah anyway. So why Muhammad he inserted his name there? If I obey Allah, I will not be obeying Muhammad? Why I need to obey Muhammad? If Muhammad is a true prophet, he should say, obey Allah. That's it. How we go to heaven? By obeying Allah. No. In Islam, you have to obey Allah and to obey Muhammad. Chapter 3, verse number 32. قل أطيعوا الله والرسول فإن تولوا فإن الله لا يحب الكافرين. So the one who don't obey Muhammad is a kafir. So what is the condition to be a believer is not to obey Allah, is to obey Muhammad. So yes, Allah and Muhammad is one, but Allah doesn't exist, which means the true God in Islam is Muhammad. In chapter 3, verse number 132, Muhammad, he says the same, وَأَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولَ, obey Allah and the Messenger. Shouldn't I just obey Allah? As an example, the Quran says you do mut'ah. Is that correct? So Muhammad is a lot more important with that. I am like your prophet who collect money, consult with me. To consult me, you have to pay me money. I'm Muhammad. Do you want me to show you the Quran that the prophet said that if you want to come to me and ask me questions, you have to pay me? But the God of Muhammad, you have to put coins in the pot. When we ask the Muslims question, we go in a circle clearly that the sun goes every day from point A to point of Allah, but Allah have a hand. Muhammad, he confirmed that Allah is a physical being, he have a hand. So this is not even metaphorical. So even, let me ask you dialogues, do your Allah have a foot and hand and face physically?
Presented that verse, if the conclusion from the verse is Allah is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then of course Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had a hand, he had a leg, he had a shin, he had a face.
No, this is what I said. I said Allah does not exist. Muhammad is the one you worship. You see, Muhammad, he said there's God. His name is Allah. You pray for him, you worship him, I am just his slave. But in reality, you Muslims never heard Allah, never saw even anything about this Allah, and you have only one person you obey. You don't even obey Allah. And I will prove my point in a second. The Quran says you do mut'ah. Does the Quran anywhere, you are the one who said if something contradicts the Quran we should not take it, right? Okay, the Quran says we do mut'ah. Chapter 4 verse 24. Do you do mut'ah or you do what Muhammad order you? Which not to do no more, you might.
So you are subject. Now did Jesus
You see guys, I am the one who teaching to me that is Muhammad. Guys, him? You did. I'm just getting you busted. I order you to do. and you follow and
The Christian Prince, the context in which I brought up the verse was literal or metaphorical. You can talk about this subject.
The Muslim Sunni, they agree that Allah is a physical, with no exception, and have a face, or what they know would not how Allah look like. And you want me to get you busted more, I can show you. Your prophet is speaking about the look of Allah. Do you want to see that? Or you will tell me that you know more than your God? What? Your prophet, he confirmed, like, you know, they asked Muhammad, are we going to see Allah in, you know, in the judgment day? Are you going to see him? He said yes. Do you bother from seeing the sun in a clear sky? They said no. Do you bother from seeing the moon in a clear sky? They said no. He said this is how you will see Allah. And then they asked him how we will recognize him. He said Allah will come to you in a shape other than the one which you know, which you saw. In what? In a shape. So Allah literally have a shape. That is not a metaphorical. And then the Muslims, when they see Allah in that shape, they will say to him, you are not our Lord. So Allah will come back to them in a shape which what? They like. And then they will say, there's no doubt that you are our God. So what are you talking about? Yes, this is literal, and your God, Allah, have a leg, your God. And not only this, they said to him, and how will we recognize him? He said from his shin. From what? From his shin. You will recognize Allah from the shin. Let me give you the reference. Here we go. This is the link for those who are seeking reference. Jonathan, don't tell me how I do my room, please. You can open your room and you can do whatever you want. Guys, open the link. What was the question? The Muslims are asking, are we going to see Allah? So this is about a physical scene. This is not metaphorical. And your prophet, he compared between seeing Allah and seeing the sun and the moon. Is that correct, guys? Do you see it? So this must be what? This is about a physical scene. And then the story gets more complicated and more ugly. Muhammad, he says that Allah will come to you in a shape. Read with me, guys. This is not my translation. This is not my translation. This is the Muslim's translation. Alright? Allah will come to them in a shape. Read with me. Other than they knew or they know. And will say, I am your Lord. They will say, we seek refuge with Allah from you. Is that metaphorical? No. Allah is coming, Allah is being seen, Allah is being rejected, and the Muslim, they say to Allah, we seek refuge from you, which means they are, excuse my language, they are kicking his ass. Get out of here, you are not Allah. As simple as that. So now Allah, he cry, he go home to his closet, he come back with different shape. What? He come back with different shape. And that shape is the one they know. And he will say to them, I am your Lord. Then they will say, no doubt you are our Lord. And they will follow him. Is that metaphorical? No. That is Allah himself being seen and coming in a shape. And he has two shapes. Or maybe they look like him. This is what you did with Jesus. Guys, this is what the Muslims did with Jesus. Don't like, it's a way. We seek refuge from God, from you. This is what they do for Jesus. They rejected Jesus. You see, be my witness. The Muslims, how stupid this religion is. They are the same as a chicken, baby chickens who follow a sheep. They don't follow the true mother. You see, if you have a bunch of, what they call the baby chicken chick? What they call them, chick? What they call them? The baby chicken. Chicks. So if you have a new baby chicks, if a cat walk in front of them, they follow it, even if the cat is going to eat them. Is that correct? Is that true? They are following anything is moving. Shape. Muslims, they follow a shape. They don't care who is God. Look, their God himself is coming to them and saying, I am your God. And yet the Abduls, they kick the ass of their God and they say to him, get lost. You are not our God. What is the problem? They don't like his shape. Pagans. Pagans are those who follow shape. Their God is not important. What is important is the shape. Do you have anything to say, Mr. Dialogues? Did he leave? Oh boy. He left? We hurt his feeling. He's here, I don't see him. Oh, here we go. Dialogue, are you there? Are you going to say to me this is a metaphorical too? So do Allah have, and not only this, by the way, I did not mention the whole story, but I want to give you the mic. And then they said to him, how will you recognize him? How will you recognize him? He said it from his shin. His what? His shin. Your mic.
Yeah, there's no problem there. Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had a shin. They saw his shin in the battles that Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had to fight. So why not?
Why Allah have a shin? Listen, I'm not asking why Muhammad have a shin. Are you crazy? Why Allah has a shin? Your mind.
But you accepted the verse I gave in which, according to your style of interpretation, Muhammad is Allah.
Not my style. I prove it. There is no Allah. It's a fiction, and Muhammad is the true God. However, that verse has nothing to do even with my topic. You see, because you notice that you cannot answer an error, scientific error, stupid error in the Quran, and mention in the Hadith, and mention in the interpretation. So you try to jump like a monkey from here to there. When you're a prophet, he mentioned the sun goes every day from point A to point B. Is that a metaphorical or no? You said we cannot accept anything contradict the Quran, and yet there's nothing contradict the Quran. Even your prophet himself is quoting the verse from the Quran to prove the sun put straight every day. The Quran confirmed the sun set in the murky water. What your answer? Nothing. You jump. You talk about the hand of Allah. So now we move to the Allah body part. Yes, Allah has a body parts. He have a hand, he have a foot, he have an ass, he have a face, he have ears. And the fact he look exactly like a man. And when I ask you, which one you obey, you refuse to answer. Do you obey Allah or you obey Muhammad? Dialogue. To prove to you, as long as you are the one who will jump into this topic, let us see who is Allah and who is the true God. Is Allah is the true God of Islam or Muhammad? I say Muhammad, you say Allah. Can you prove it? Allah says you do pray 3 times in the Quran. Muhammad says you pray 5. What Muslims do? They follow Muhammad. Allah says in the Quran you do muta. Muhammad said don't do muta no more. What Muslims do? They follow Muhammad. Name one thing for me. Muhammad he say and he lose and Allah win. The only one Muhammad knows in the front of Allah, when Muhammad, he promised his wives not to have sex with his slaves no more. So he made a verse claiming it's coming from Allah, saying to him, why you forbid having sex with the girls, huh? Huh? Obviously he is making the verse. It's for his benefit. The chapter of the Tahrim, verse number 1. Lima tuharrim. Allah said to him, why you are forbidding what Allah he gave lawful for you? He got horny again. He promised his wife he will not do it again. And now, why you are forbidden? Then Aisha, she noticed he's a liar. She said to him that your God, he rushed into your desire, Muhammad. Inni ara rabbuka yusari'u ila hawak. Ya Muhammad, I just seen that your God, he rushed into your desire, Muhammad. And what is the desire of Muhammad? Always is about sex. Look guys what Aisha she found. Aisha is smart, not stupid. She got him busted. She felt jealous and she knew that this is his fabrication. Who cares if he is out or in? He's not answering anyway. Guys, if you think I'm answering the Muslims, you are wrong. I'm not asking those Muslims, they know that they are liars. I am here to teach the Christians so they can get Islam busted wherever they go. And if there is a good Muslim, he have a brain and he have dignity, he will leave his cult. Guys, imagine if somebody says to Jesus, forgive me, Lord, for saying that. I see that your Lord rushed to satisfy your desire, Jesus. None of us will follow Jesus. Such a Jesus, we don't want to belong to him. We follow Jesus the Holy. We have millions of reasons to believe that Jesus is God. Number 1 is his holiness. Number 2 is his holiness. Number 3 is their holiness and his miracles. The first thing you have to follow is holiness. This man and his God, they are nothing but full of filth. From teaching women to rend themselves, rend their vagina, to do one night stand, teach men to beat their wives, to cheat on their wives, to abuse their wives, to ride their neighbors, to steal their money, to lie. Muhammad, he said you can lie in 3 cases to your family, your friends, and your enemy. Who's left? For God's sake, who's left? What Jesus said about lying. Jesus even forbid us from taking an oath. He said either you say yea, yea, or nay, nay. Is that correct? And anything additional is from the devil. You don't swear. You don't swear by God, I swear. You know, this is from the devil. You should be always truthful. Muhammad giving license for lying, and he is saying it's good. So we have billions of reasons to follow Jesus and to feel disgusted from the man, his name is Muhammad. Now we go back to, as long as we have Nightmare here. Nightmare. We were talking about where the sun set, and it set in a Milky Water. What is your comment about that? Your mind.
Okay, we already talked about that. The best interpretation or explanation of that verse, and the guy he gave it to you. We don't know what the prophet, how the sun, tashjud, to God. We don't know how that happened. It's something which is min al-ghaybiyat for God. But Muhammad, he was not talking about the verse that you have in the chapter about the sun set in murky water, because it doesn't make sense. Because he asked the guy, "Do you know where the sun is?" But what he already, according to you, he already say what it said. According to you, it said in the Mercury water. Then why he is asking him? Didn't he already say that in the Quran? So why he is asking him, do you know where You know, it just doesn't make sense. So he was talking about something else, not about the entry.
Abdul, listen. First of all, the story, we do not know the order of the story. I mean, when this hadith is mentioned, it's before the verse, after the verse, so you're assuming. Secondly, even when the Jews, they asked Muhammad about Zulqarnain, Muhammad did not give the answer. Who said that he did? He did not. He took a lot of time to do his research, to search the internet, let's say. Because the verse, if you go and read the verse, the book of Asbab al-Nuzul, chapter 18, verse number 83, you will see that they asked him, but he did not give the answer. He need to search. He claimed that he waited for his God to give him the answer. But what Muhammad did, he searched, and he found many legions, and he believed in those legions to be the accurate answer to give. This is why he got himself busted. And actually, this is how why they asked him the question, to get him busted. They made him believe that Zulqarnain is a prophet. And they made him believe that if you do not know what Zulqarnain is about, it means he is a false prophet. So the Jews, they did ask him the question in a purpose, and the purpose to get him busted, and they did. And then he come with this fiction story. And regardless if Muhammad, he said that in the verse or not, the verse there is speaking about where the sun set. He found it where the sun set, but doesn't say where the sun set. It says in the murky water, but where's the murky water? Nobody knows. Here Muhammad is giving you more details. That murky water is under the throne of Allah. Remember, Muhammad, he said that Allah, before he created everything, there was nothing but Allah, and his throne was above the water. Correct, Nightmare? There was nothing but Allah and his throne above the water. Can you tell me where the water was? Nightmare? If Allah did not create the earth and the heaven yet, Allah, his throne in the top of the water. Which water? Your mind.
Okay, you say that the murky water, it's under the throne of Allah. That's where the sun set. It was under the throne of Allah. So you're trying to say that Dhul-Qarnayn, he walked until he reached the throne of Allah? It doesn't make sense. He has to be in the earth, not in under the throne of Allah, because he was just walking. So,
My friend, when Zulqarnain, he found the sun sitting in the murky water. Is that murky water on earth, or it is in heaven? Your mind.
it has to be on earth, not on heaven. Your mind.
That's wonderful. So when Muhammad, he says that Allah, when he created everything, there was nothing but him and his throne above the water, that is plain. Zulqarnain, he found the sun sitting place, which is hot, murky water. Muhammad saying the sun set every day under the throne of Allah. The throne of Allah is above the water. I think the image is so clear. Is that correct, guys? Where is the throne of Allah according to Muhammad? Above the water. Where is the sunset according to the chapter 18? In the murky water. Where is the sun goes every day in the sunset time? And the throne of Allah. So the throne of Allah in the top of the water, and the water is the hot water, and that is in the earth. And that will show you how stupid Islam is. Your mind.
ووجد عندها قوما. So you're trying to say that he found people living next to the throne of Allah? Does this make sense to you? He is talking about something in the earth, not on heaven. Your mic.
Guys, Knight asking me if that makes sense. I mean, anything Muhammad he said makes sense. But does it make sense to say the women she have a breast testicles, and the man have a sperm coming from his backbone? It doesn't make sense that your God, he says that you know, the earth in one verse created before the sky, the trees, the trees, the water, the fish, and different verse he says before, no, the sun was first, and then we created the trees, and etc. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Does it make sense that if your prophet he say, if the man have orgasm first, the baby will be a boy, and if the women have orgasm, the baby will be a girl? You are talking about sense, my friend. Sense what? That is sense of a humor. It's a joke. Does it make sense that God he sit in the top of a rooster? And this rooster, his feet is in the ground and his head in the sky? Does it make sense that Suleiman he have a flying carpet, and this flying carpet can carry 600,000 chairs? Does it make sense that Suleiman he go to the bathroom and they steal the genie, he steal his ring, and then he start effing his wives? Does it make sense that genie can sleep with women who are human? Does it make sense that Shaitan he have a penis in the right leg and a vagina in the left leg, and he if himself by shaking his legs? And you are talking to me about sense? That's a lot of sense. And then after he ate himself, he laid in eggs, and then from every egg there is 70 shaitan and 70 female shaitan come from it. And you are talking about sense? That's crazy. And what's talking about sense? Does it make sense that women she have half a brain because she have a period? Does it make sense that women they will go to hell because she have a period? That is the most stupid argument ever I heard. A prophet of God saying to women, oh women, give charity. Why, prophet? Because I saw most of you will go to hell. Why, prophet? Because you are ungrateful to your husbands and you have period. But what the heck? I understand and grateful, but I can't understand that women they will go to hell because they have period. I mean, is that their fault? Am I going to punish them, send them to hell because they have period, when I am the one who made them, created them with period? And you are talking about make sense? Let us see what this guy Hat want to say. How are you, Mr. Hat? You're mine. Okay, thank you for voting. So Nightmare, don't talk about sense, please, because talking about sense will give you a heart attack. You're mine.
Okay. All scholars, you know, Ibn Kathir, Qurtubi, Tabari, all of them, they did not interpret that the sun set on the mercury water literally or physically. Or Qurtubi says, no, it's impossible. The sun is bigger than the earth, you know. And those scholars, they existed before the discovery that the earth rotates around the sun. And yet, they did not understand the sunset the way you did. So this is your
Hey, Abdul, I am not the one giving interpretation. Stop lying. I showed you the hadith. At the same time, you say all the scholars don't agree. No, the scholars agree. The scholars agree. You want to tell me Ibn Kathir don't agree? Ibn Kathir, he got busted in many places. Here he's trying to be smart. Ibn Kathir is not really an old generation scholar. You know, in his time, things getting better and smarter. So he's trying to correct the scam in the Quran. But your prophet, he got everything get busted. When your prophet, he says the sun set in under the throne of Allah and the sun travel, then the sun travel. Your prophet saying that the sun move from point A to point B. I'm not the one who's saying that. The funny, even your prophet, he quote the verse when he speak about that. Let us read it again. Read for me this one. This one shorter. Nightmare. And this is the Arabic. Well, the Arabic is not coming in Pato, so I will give you the link. Let us see. He said, you know where the sun, in the time of the sunset, do you know where the sun goes? So the sun what? Goes. And then your prophet, he elaborates, and he says, Allah and his apostle, answer, he said, it goes to prostrate. So your prophet explaining the sunset movement, and he claimed that the sun is going. Do you see it? So it is not me. So you want to tell me Ibn Kathir didn't agree? Agree with what? Agree with what? And let us all go to Ibn Kathir and see